let's use this as an example. When a game developer is trying to build traction to their game before they release it, they'll typically use Twitter as a way of offering the spoilers, offering teasers, providing updates, and then eventually announcing the release date of the game. Then, as the game is released and it goes live, they often then provide support to the players and respond to their questions and create a level of engagement for those players or the fans of the game. So I guess the example there is what they're doing is and how they use Twitter to leverage their brand or their business is they build the suspense, they build that audience, they manage the user interaction on a live level, and they create that level of engagement direct with the people who are using their software. And those principles apply across the use of Twitter for many different businesses and personal brands. What I know is that as a normal small business, the best way to get the most value out of Twitter is to be proactive and ensure that you are reaching out to people and engaging with people on the platform to create that two-way interaction and then reap the benefit of having that interaction on Twitter with your target audience or with people that you believe could be your target audience and could either purchase your products or services. One of the things to also keep in mind is that part of that process of reaching out, engaging, interacting is to effectively build a list, to build an audience. And we'll find this is a common theme across most of the social platforms, or if not all of the social platforms. So the principles apply. We're just helping you narrow down each of those and how you might be able to use them for your business. So there's obviously a lot of activity happening on Twitter. I know it's also can be very country, very regionally orientated, depending on how active the user base is. We will know that, for instance, Facebook is the dominant leader as far as the majority of the population being on the social platform. Twitter is less so. Instagram is the fastest growing. We know those things at the moment. But in particular, this is how we can use Twitter if it's applicable to your audience, to your region, to your area. I know, for instance, in Australia, it's not as big. Yes, the media fraternity use it. A lot of the tech fraternity use it. Celebrities use it. Me personally, I'm not a big user of it. It's less relevant to me and my business customers within country. But what I do find is that it has a place and it is still important for some businesses. I think what's also important to note is that it's constantly growing and their audiences are growing, the way they engage grows. And with different niche audiences, and that's one of the things I guess you've got to keep in mind, is that it's easier for you as a business and as an individual to find those niche audiences using social platforms like Twitter. And what that does is that by being able to search the platform, being able to find the hashtags that are trending or the people who are known as influencers or seen as influencers within the sector of that has the attention of your target audience and your target customer, that's going to give you the ability to tap straight into them and engage with them to create that network of effectively referral partners. So, talking a little bit about Twitter optimization, the first thing is learning how to grow the Twitter from effectively the ground up. Now, you might already be on it. Might have built a fairly strong following. It's great. So how do we take that to the next level? How do we, or if you're just starting out, where do you start from? So here's a couple of tips for businesses, marketers, individuals, brands that are looking to market themselves on Twitter. Starting off with a cover photo. So get a template. There's a lot of free things out there, free tools. You can use Canva. Canva has some great templates already made. You can look at outsourcing that service if you don't have a graphic designer. There are websites like Upwork and Freelancer that can be really good to find the right skills, the right resource to be able to outsource. So you've got to get a template. Canva's great for that, just to make sure you get the right dimensions for your cover photo and your banner. And you can use Photoshop if you know how to use it, or employ a designer to use Photoshop, or Canva, again, to create the fill or to create the cover photo for you. And what you should try and do is use branded colors and calls to action to help increase your conversion. It's a prime piece of real estate on Twitter. When people are seeing your profile, let's try and use that for something that you can capitalize on or that will drive action. The next part is your followers. So best way to start off is to first pick out followers who are active and posting throughout the day in your industry. So you can do the searches for the keywords, the hashtags that are relevant to your industry. Start having a look at who's vocal, who's regularly posting, and then engage with them. When you see tweets that you like or that resonate with your brand or your audience, you can use what's called the retweet feature. Retweet feature, that's a mouthful. Retweeting and favoriting their posts, so effectively liking or loving their posts, it will also help with that engagement and help show your support of those individual posts that resonate with your brand and your audience. And send them a direct message. Yes, it takes a little bit of time, but sit there over an evening while you're watching Netflix and just reach out to these people. Send them a direct message and say, hey, how you going? Thanks for your content. Anything I can do for you? Would love to chat. Maybe there could be a partnership in the making. Or don't be presumptuous. Always add value before you ask. Give value before you take. Then we want to talk a little bit about content. And so there's lots of ways to drive content and create content. For Twitter, you don't have to be a genius and a lyrical savant in creating witty and smart sentences. What I would suggest is a couple of things you can use. Software like Grapevine 6, which will help you find related articles. Use the local news as well to represent the local area. So if you're locally focused, try to keep it hyper relevant to what's happening in your geography. And then from there, you can also use the local and national hashtags. So this is that hashtag research I was talking about before. Use that local and national hashtags as well as industry related hashtags to find more people to follow, to find more people that are using that hashtag and leveraging that hashtag on the platform for the brands, products or services that you're involved in. And lastly, messaging. So direct messaging is an extremely powerful tool. Yes, there's a lot of people using it, and you'll find that being on Twitter, you'll start to get direct messaged a lot, especially the more you become active. What you'll find is that direct messaging will tend to convert better than retweeting. Retweeting is great to fill that content and might get a like or might get a favorite. However, more engagement from being more personal and adding value first at a direct message level will tend to yield better results than retweeting. What you should also consider is initially looking for referral partners or brand advocates. So who are people that have the attention of your audience that you can offer value to or give something to in order to get something in return as far as the attention or the engagement of your target audience. And then lastly, what you also want to consider is that accounts with the most engagement typically has the most to offer. Notice I said engagement, not followers. I have seen and can see accounts that have tens of thousands of followers, but really little engagement. As much engagement as, say, somebody that might have 500 followers. I talk about it in my book, which you've all seen and you've all heard of. I Just Want It to Work, a guide to understanding digital marketing and social media for frustrated business owners, managers, and marketers. And I talk about, would you rather be in a room with 50 people where those 50 people are hanging off every word you say, or would you rather be in front of an audience of 50,000 people where only 50 people are interested in what you've got to say? I'd rather be in the former, not the latter, in that I'd rather have the dedicated attention of the smaller audience, of the dedicated audience, than just having huge numbers and not getting the right engagement. Admittedly, I understand that reach is also a numbers game. So by having the volume, having the large audience is going to typically give you more organic reach. But what you need to keep in mind is that it's, we need to get over this a little bit. It's a pay-to-play environment. Ultimately, if you want your content to be seen, you need to pay for that content to be seen. If you want your brands and your products and so forth to be seen, that's what the advertising platform's for. However, What we're talking about is a lot of free stuff, that engagement, that direct messaging, that retweeting, that giving value, giving things away, being topical, being relevant, using hashtags. All of that together, if you're working the platform, is going to drive the absolute best results, drive the best results for your business in helping you grow your following, grow your engagement, grow your grow your partnership base or your referral base. So all of those things collectively, all of which you can do for free by yourself with little to minimal cost, is really going to help you create that value for your audience and build your Twitter profile.